Okay, guys. So here in this program now, we have created the first object of our account class, which is here, right? And when the customer opens up an account, okay, then what does he do? Once the account is opened, then he deposits the money, he withdraws the money, and then he queries the balance, right? And then that balance we print. We are now going to print here now. Now I'll say ACT1 dot deposit amount 1000. So I have deposited the 1000 rupees in my account. Then I'll withdraw some amount. Say I have withdrawn now 500 rupees. Now what I'll do is I'll query the balance. Like what is my current balance? I just want to know. So this customer, he wants to know his current balance. So it's called the get balance. Now this is the journey of this account object. Since it created, like you can say that okay, the account has been opened in the bank, in the books of account, the account entry has been created. Then now customer will use it for his purpose, like he will deposit, number of times he will deposit, he will withdraw. I have to say withdraw here instead of deposit, right? So he will withdraw the money, he will get the balance, withdraw amount, he'll get the balance, like he will withdraw the retrieve the balance, which I'll just store in one variable called bal, right? And then we will print what is the current balance, right? Right, now here I'll write a print statement, printf. So it's a printf in Java, system.out.println. This is like printf in C. And now here I would like to uh, display the message saying that account number so and so, whatever the account number of that particular account is. So I'll say ACT1 and we have to concatenate this. I'll explain you this concatenation process as well, don't worry. Let me first write and we will see the output, and from that output we will understand the formation of this statement. So account number so and so has balance rupees. And again I want to concatenate. Yeah, so this is the statement which I want to print. We will discuss this statement, don't worry. Now for the second account also, I want to perform the same operations but with the help of account 2 now. So ACT2, I'll deposit 2000 rupees, I'll withdraw 1000 rupees from account 2, I'll just get the balance of account 2 and I'll simply print account number 2's account number and its balance. Right. Now I'll execute the program and then I'll explain you, like once we will get the output on the screen, I'll explain you this flow of our main class. So let me compile the main class because we have done the modifications there, right? So let me compile it, Java C space, and I'll compile my demo demo.java is what we need to compile, right? Now, in order to compile our demo.java, this account system demo.java, we need to set the class path as we know, because this is using a user defined class account, right? So I'll say -cp, and then class path we have set, and then I'll mention the Java file. Okay, let me allow sharing. Yeah, yes, account system demo.java. I have compiled it. Right. Now let's execute the class, and we will get the messages printed over here on the command prompt, and then we will understand the flow. Okay. So I'll say cls java space. Now I want to run the class, right? I want to run this particular main class account demo, which contains the main method. Now, to my Java runtime environment, as we had discussed in our previous sessions, to our Java runtime environment, we have to specify where it will get the class we are executing. So, -cp again, class path, and name of the class. Here we are saying name of the class. We are not saying path or anything. We are saying name of the class means it should only be name, not the location and not the what you can say like extension, only the name, and enter. Okay, let me, sorry, cls. Here we have to mention the path. I forgot to mention the path after that, -cp. So the path of the directory, so java space -cp class path, the path of the directory where the class file of the class we are running here exist. Okay, so account demo is the name of the class we are executing, and its class file is present over here in this folder, hence the path of that directory is mentioned in class, and I'm just putting enter here. So we have got this output. Okay, now let's understand the output. Now we are going to understand the flow of this. Okay, now let's understand. Please guys concentrate, this is very important. Now here we are running this account demo class. So as soon as you give this command java space and name of the class, Java runtime environment finds the class file from this class path, and it calls the main method written in that class. If it doesn't get the main method written, it will give you an error, main method not found. But the point is it calls the main method. So it has called this method. First thing what it is doing is it is creating the object. Now we already have understood the object creation process, but let's do it again. Let's discuss it again. So account object we are creating. So when you create an object, what happens? The instance variables get created in the memory. So two variables would be created, account number, balance. They will have their own memory addresses. Those memory addresses would be stored in this ACT1. Okay, now the point is these variables when they get created, so at the time of creation of the object these variables get created, but which values they get? Initially when they are being created, they must be getting some values. No, in C, if you see in C language, when you create a variable and if you don't assign any value to it, it contains the garbage values. So if you define int a and if you try to print the value from that variable, then you will get garbage because you have not assigned any value of your own in that variable. But in case of Java, it doesn't happen. What happens is at the time of creation of an object, like here, when the variables are being created, they get the default value set. Okay, they get the default value, they don't get the garbage values. So default values for int would be 0. So which default value would be set to the given variable depends upon what is the type of that variable. So if it is integer variable, the value which this will contain is 0. If it is double, then the default value would be 0.0. If it is character, then the default value would be blank. So the default value is values are pre-decided based on the, for every type of data, the default values are pre-decided. Hence the variables will contain the default values based on the data type they are of. Okay, so when this object would be created in the memory, so these two variables would be created and they will get their default values, and account number will have 0 and balance will have 0.0. Okay. Then what we are doing next, we are calling deposit amount method with the reference of our object ACT1, and we are sending in 1000 as an argument. So this method would be called, it will receive ACT1's reference, that 1000, okay, which we have sent as an argument will now I'll just keep it side by side so that you will understand what I'm saying. So deposit amount we are calling with ACT1 reference. So this 1000 we are sending in. So this 1000 will get received in this AMNT variable. Now as this method has received now the reference of ACT1, so this would be ACT1 dot balance. So the balance variable, the copy of ACT1 object would be used here for the in this particular expression. So ACT1 dot balance plus amount. So what is the value in ACT1 dot balance? 0.0, which just got it at the time of creation, the default value, right? So 0.0 plus 1000, it would be 1000, right? So that 1000 would be set to ACT1 dot balance again. So all these references of the instance variables, those references will get converted into the reference to the particular copy of a object. So balance ACT1 dot balance it will become, right, like that. So here ACT1 dot balance became 1000. Then the execution of this method would be done and it will come back to the caller, right? So it will come back here to the caller. The caller is main method here. So it will come back to the next statement in the caller, that is withdraw amount. Now it will give a call to a withdraw amount method with the reference of ACT1. We are sending 500 number as an argument. So this withdraw amount would be called with 500 would be there in this parameter. Now here again this balance will become ACT1 dot balance, as this withdraw amount has received the reference of ACT1 object. So ACT1 dot balance minus AMNT, that is 500. So balance ACT1 balance has now become, after we deposited the 1000 rupees in our previous statement, the balance has become 1000. So 1000 minus 500, now the balance ACT1 dot balance will get set to 500. So this will be 500 now, ACT1 dot balance. Now again, after the execution of this state, this method, control will come back to the caller to the next statement, that is here. Now we are calling get balance method with again the reference of ACT1. So this get balance would be called with the object reference of ACT1. So here it would be return ACT1 dot balance. So ACT1 dot balance is 500, which would be returned, and the returned value gets stored in the variable which is mentioned to the left of the call statement. So this call statement will come back here with the returned value, and that returned value would be given to the variable to which the call of the method has been assigned. So bal has got the 500. Now please concentrate here what I am saying now. Now this is very important, the concatenation part. Now it will come here and it will print the message system.out.println. This message it will print, and we have got this output. If you see, account number 0 has balance rupees 500. Now let's understand this statement. Now this account number colon space, this is the hard code string. So we have just enclosed it within the double quotes. Now we want to create our own message which should read as account number so and so has balance rupees so and so. Okay. So account number colon space is a hard coded string which we have enclosed within the double quotes. Now to which I want to assign, or I want to concatenate, I would say, I want to concatenate the value of account number variable from my ACT1 object so that it will print the account number of ACT1, and then the statement would read as account number say 1 has balance rupees so and so. That is how I want that statement to be created. So this is called a concatenation operator plus. So which concatenates, which joins. Concatenate means joins the string part with the variable. Now this is the variable part. So ACT1 dot account number. So we are accessing an account number variable copy from ACT1 object, which is 0 because when it got created at the time of creation, our account number got created with the default value, and default value for it is 0 as it is of type int. So and after that we have not assigned any value from our side, right? So whatever the value it has got at the time of creation, that's the only value which it has until this point. So it will print 0 here. So that's why we are getting this message as account number 0. So this is what this 0 is coming from. 0, right? So this is what the part of the statement which has been printed, and this is the output of this selected part, this account number colon space and account number. This selected part has outputted this section of our message, account number colon space 0. After that I am concatenating this part, which is again a string part. You can see has space has balance rupees dot space. This is a string part again, and that is what we have got here. Space has balance rupees dot space. So this is what I have got. Yes, this is the output of this selected part from our program. This. Okay. Now to which we have concatenated this value which we have got in this balance variable. Now again we want to concatenate the variable here. So again the concatenation operator. So if you want to create the whole message to be printed by concatenating string variable again back to the string, again string to the variable, or let's say you have two different strings which you want to concatenate and create the whole string to be printed, again the concatenation operator plus is to be used. So bal we concatenated, right, that is 500, and then again we concatenated it with this symbol, that is slash and hyphen, right? So this is how we have got this output, the first line. Now next we are creating here the second object, ACT2. Now when we create ACT2 here, again these instance variables would be created in the memory, and hence they are called instance variables. They will have the separate copies for every instance you will create of that class. Hence the copies created while creating this ACT1 would be kept as is. Okay, they would be kept and they would be maintaining always the data of ACT1. Okay, ACT2 cannot interfere with those copies, or it cannot use those copies. When you will create a second object, that second object will get its own copies of this instance variable. So again account number balance, two variables would be created at two different locations, and their locations would be stored in this ACT2 object variable. Now again these instance variables which have now been created for this ACT2, they would be again created with the default values, and that is what the job of this is. This looks like a function call, isn't it? Function call looks like this, the name, some name, and after that you get to see the pair of parentheses, right? So this is what the function call is made up of. Call and the round brackets, the parentheses. Now this is indeed a function call, but this is a special function which is called as constructor. Now what is constructor? Now the object is being constructed here as well as here. In this particular statement, these two statements are object creation statements, this one as well as this one. Now these functions are taking part in the object creation, hence the name constructor. They are constructing an object. What is the job of this function then? In this construction process, if you have a look at this construction statement, let's understand it. This new is responsible for the memory allocation, hence it is called as memory allocator operator new. Okay, so this is the job of this new. This is here for when the object would be created, then the member instance variables, when they would be created, so this ACT2 is going to hold the references of those member variables. So this is the job of this. But then what is the job of this function here? So the job of the function here is to put the default values into those variables, into these instance variables which are being created as a part of constructing an object. Default constructor, it is called as default constructor, means it has got the implementation of putting the default values into the variables which are being created, hence the name default constructor. It has got its own implementation which the compiler gives us. We do not have any control on the implementation of this though, but it has got the implementation of putting the default values into the member variables being created at the time of object creation, right? So here again, when this object would be created, these member variables would get created with the default values. So act2.account number will have 0 and act2.balance will again have 0. Now we are calling deposit amount method with act2 reference and we are sending in 2000 as an argument. So this method now will be called, but now with the reference of act2. Previously at this statement we had called this method with act1's reference, hence the balance variable got worked on. The balance variable copy of that act1 got worked on, right? Now when we are calling this deposit amount with act2, now this balance variable, the copy of balance variable of act2 would be worked on now, right? So the act2.balance is 0, right? 0 plus 2000, this 2000 which we are sending would be received here. So 0 plus 2000, so act2.balance will become 2000. Then we are calling act2.withdraw amount 1000. We are sending 1000 in. So act2.withdraw amount would be called with 1000 as an argument. So here the balance variable which would be worked on now would again be a copy of act2 because this withdraw amount has received the reference of act2. So 2000, the balance is 2000, right? 2000 minus 1000. So 1000 would be the balance now for my act2. Now again once this function is done with the execution, it will come back to the caller in the next statement. Here it will come. I am calling get balance now with the reference of act2, act2.getBalance. So it will return me the act2.balance. It will return, and then we have got this 1000 here. Now 1000 is what we have got as a return from this function, and again we are creating a message here where account number, where I want to print the, now the account number of this act1 and act2 happens to be same now because we have not given any, they are both with their own default values. So you will see in the message account number would be printed at 0 again because it is with the default value. No, we haven't given any value of our own, but we can give it to make it more meaningful. What we will do now is, before we call any method on it, we will just assign some meaningful account number. Instead of just keeping it with the default value, we will just assign the meaningful value to the account number copies of both the objects. So here also, and here I'll say act2.account number 2. So I'm just accessing those objects copies of the instance variables and I'm just assigning them the values. So I've just assigned it.